Santiago Canyon College is an innovative learning community in Orange, California, with more than 260 certificate and degree programs. Santiago Canyon College is a proud sponsor of community programming and OC World.
OC World is made possible by the generous contributions of Marisla Foundation, Keith and Judy Swain Family Foundation, Wells Fargo Bank, the University of California, Irvine, Orange County Community Foundation, Farmers and Merchants Bank, and viewers like you. Thank you.
Vẫn còn ở đây em đi
phone chị Đào.
Tôi mới gặp là hôm qua đó con đi đến nhà hàng Indonesia đó, thành ra con tìm hiểu.
They heard that there's a first Vietnamese family in southern Arizona here, and they came and wanted to greet us, and they brought what they knew we would love, and so they're just being reunited. I just discovered her last night and talked to her on the phone. It was a chance. Not knowing anything about her, I was at a Vietnamese restaurant. She started telling him my story, and then she said, "Oh, I have an aunt that's lived here a while." And I said, "Is your aunt this name?" So we called it was her. My name is Ted Nguyen. So my story started back in 1975. We escaped my hometown, my birthplace of Nha Trang, Vietnam, the central coast of Vietnam. The communists were taking over parts of the country, and so we fled. My mom fled along with my baby brother and my younger brother, who was only 4 at that time. I was only 6 years old. My father, his name is Nguyen Duc Niem. He was a proud naval officer in the South Vietnamese Navy. He proudly served his country, and during the Vietnam War, he fought on the side of the Americans in fighting for freedom against the communists. And so when the communists started taking over the country, he had no choice but to abandon his country. He did not want to. He did not want to leave his family, his home, his country, and flee to an existence that he didn't know anything about. But my mother said, "You have to leave, you have to flee. If you don't flee, they're going to kill you. The communists will imprison you at best, and at worst, they will kill you." So that proud naval officer had to abandon everything, give up everything, and give up hope in Vietnam, and had to have new hope in America. And so that's what he did. He put his family first, and we fled as a family to the United States of America.
Yeah, you go this way.
Going in.
Yes.
Ciao. Ciao, Paul.
Hi.
This is my mom.
Oh, yours is mother.
Yeah, this is.
Ba món rồi.
Mạnh giỏi, dạ, mạnh giỏi.
Tốt lắm.
Ông cũng vẫn còn nói tiếng Việt Nam được hả? Wow, he speaks Vietnamese a little bit still.
Một chút.
A little bit.
Con nói một chút.
Yeah.
It's a pleasure seeing you, sir.
Pleasure to see you. Yeah.
Thank you. It's
And
been
I have
so
to
long.
give you a hug.
Yeah, okay.
After all these years.
I love you.
We got our start in America thanks to the Sierra Lutheran Church and Lieutenant Colonel James Bankey and Charlotte Bankey, along with their 2 kids. It was Michael, who was only 4 years old at that time, and Michelle, who was only 1 year old. Because their family, they showed us love They showed us kindness. They showed us an example of being a good family. And so we exemplified that to this day. They did everything for us. They showed us how to do the simplest thing, such as turning on television. They showed us how to use an electric range, which we never had seen before. They showed us how to use the oven. We didn't have ovens in Vietnam. So I remember my mom trying to learn how to bake for the first time. And Miss Charlotte, was there and would show her how to do all these different things. And the best thing that they also did was they provided my family the keys to our new home. So I remember just being here like maybe 3-4 weeks of being in Sierra Vista. My sponsoring family, they handed over the keys to my mom and dad and said, "These are keys to your new home. Congratulations. You have monthly mortgage payments that you have to make. Now you're an American."
I didn't drive in Vietnam. I had a Jeep driver.
Yes, you had your own driver.
But of course, we didn't need one in the jungle.
He's got a great sense of humor.
I don't know where you stayed for a few days, but I think we got that house pretty fast.
Yeah, because I remember like staying in apartments
Oh,
for like
okay.
maybe a couple days. Oh, my mom wanted to know, like, did you sell for a loss or a profit on that house?
A small profit.
A profit, Lloyd.
I feel like money.
She thinks you lost money on it.
Yeah.
No, I didn't lose it.
No, come go.
I get so long time.
Then did you also work in Europe as a pastor?
Yeah.
Where in Europe?
Well, kind of all over. I was stationed in Frankfurt. I had a church in Frankfurt.
Okay.
And then wherever they needed communion, baptism, or church service, I would go there. I went to Italy, Belgium, Paris once.
How many?
Rome. Great job. I mean,
How
best
many?
job a pastor could ever have.
So this is the neighborhood.
Yeah, now
Is
this is Brown.
Yeah.
Okay?
I think it's
I forgot. Long
Not
time.
bad.
not this one. It didn't have lattice.
Nhà của ông á hả?
Kind of
No,
faced.
Nhà trước.
I didn't get emotional till I saw the house,
I think it's this one.
because I hadn't been by the house for years. In fact, maybe 50 years, I went ahead and bought that house. And then I told Ted's father that he had to make the monthly payments, not me. And I said, if you live in that house long enough and keep making those payments, you'll own the house and it'll be yours.
My father needed to obviously make ends meet, right? And now he had a mortgage payment. So our sponsoring family, the church, found a job for my father as a house painter. So he would have, it was actually not just a house painter, but he had commercial jobs. So he would go with other painters and do commercial jobs throughout that county and in Tucson. But in addition to that, he wanted to also make extra money. So he'd walk door to door throughout the neighborhoods of Sierra Vista in the hot summer heat and ask people if they wanted him to paint their homes. My mother stayed at home and took care of us, but then also asked to get scraps of clothes or worn jeans or shirts that needed to be hemmed or sewn or patched. And so that's what she did. Just the church members would donate, the different clothes, and they would pay her to sew clothing or to mend used clothes or to alter pants, skirts, dresses. And so that was one of her favorite items as a gift that she got from our sponsoring family was a sewing machine. So she put it to good use and helped us, and along with my dad's paintbrushes, we were able to start our new lives in America. My father had an opportunity to go on an excursion with some of the other military people, but he decided to stay because, to help my mom because my younger brothers and I were so little. But I remember his comrades came back and explained to us what they saw. And they went to Orange County, and they said that they took a bus ride to Orange County to see what it was like. And they came back and described it. They described how beautiful the city was. They don't remember what the city was called, but they remember it was called Orange County. They came there and they said, this is so beautiful. The streets are beautiful. The lawns are beautiful. There are flowers, there are plants. And the weather, it's cold to us, but for them, they're wearing shorts. Can you believe that? We were like aghast, like they're wearing shorts when it's this cold. And they saw the ocean. They described the ocean to us. They said, it looks like Nha Trang, Vietnam, where I'm from. And now, years later, as I remember that story, how they're describing that beach, so they had cliffs, there's mountains nearby, and narrow beaches. So I just can imagine that they were in Laguna Beach, which was just miles away from my hometown now of Laguna Niguel.
What really started the whole thing is he was on The Price is Right.
Here it comes from the Bob Barker studio at CBS in Hollywood. It's The Price is Right.
And on that program, he was a contestant.
I was the first one that they announced, Ted Nguyen, come on down.
Ted Nguyen, come on down.
There's a segment in The Price is Right, you spin the big wheel. And during that time, you could say hello to people.
You want to say hi?
Yeah, I want to say hi to my mom who's here, Wayne, Viet Vinh, and my American sponsors, Lieutenant Colonel James Bankey family for bringing us to America from Vietnam. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Amy.
On this day.
Right over there.
Thank you.
Come on over here, Joe.
And if you can believe it, he saw that episode with his wife in Sierra Vista, of all places. And so that created opportunity to reunite. So today, 49 years later, and thanks to the patience of the Southern Arizona community, I am here, and we were the first Vietnamese family to arrive in Southern Arizona as refugees that were evacuated among 130,000 other refugees that were evacuated and resettled throughout America. We're really fortunate to be the first family in Southern Arizona to be here, and it's thanks to the goodness of the church, as well as to your family, Mr. Bankey, that you brought us here, provided us with shelter, and more importantly, provided us with hope. Hope that we can rebuild our lives here in America, and hope to give a six-year-old boy at that time who was clutching his teddy bear at the Tucson airport. And I've got photos of that I always remember. So I had a teddy bear, my brother Viet had a teddy bear, as represented by the two teddy bears here. And so I was thinking of some way of saying thank you. And there's no way to fully say thank you, but to be here and to be good examples of Americans that have contributed and given back to the country that embraced them. So to all communities of faith, to the military, to families like yourself, Mr. Bankey, we're in the beautiful Southern Arizona sun. And with that, I wanted to share with you, Pastor, and with you, Mr. Bankey, my deep appreciation. So I have these teddy bears that represents my first American journey here. And that's the reason why my name is Ted, is because of the teddy bears. So on behalf of the 130,000 Vietnamese refugees, 2 simple words: thank you. And God bless you all. Thank you.
rất là mừng, cô rất là vui. Cô cảm ơn ông nhiều lắm, ông rất là tốt đối với family gia đình của cô. Cô qua Utah là ba của thằng Tết mất đó, là cô mất liên lạc với ông. Cô rất là vui. Ba đứa con cô là ông xã cô mất qua có 8 năm rồi mất, cô đi làm, cô ráng cô nuôi mấy đứa nhỏ.
I really love Vietnam. I love the Vietnamese people, very gentle people. And it's just when I found out that this church was going to sponsor him, and I was a member here then, it was a natural that I work with him, you know, on behalf of the congregation. So that's what and it worked out quite well. We got along great.
We made that connection. So that was in April. And fast forward to August 11th, that same month that we arrived in Sierra Vista, Arizona, we made our long anticipated reunion. 49 years in the making to come to Sierra Vista, to attend worship service with our brothers and sisters and those families, and sponsor Benke and his family at Sierra Evangelical Lutheran Church to say thank you with deep gratitude. We're so thankful. We're so indebted to you for opening your hearts and welcoming this young refugee family to America.